Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Battle Ready podcast. This is Dr. Kaylee Judge, and this is the place where we bridge the gap between faith and fitness. Last episode was our relaunch episode, and we are ready to keep rolling with this. I want to just thank you for the support and the love, the commenting, the subscribing to the YouTube channel, and people posting the podcast on Instagram, sharing it with their friends, commenting. I have loved to see all of the feedback, all of the engagement, and I've tried to answer every comment, every direct message, and I'm just so happy to be on this journey with you. We are going to talk today about really just the beginner's guide to living a healthy lifestyle. I want to start from scratch with you guys and not go too deep without kind of covering the basics for you. I think sometimes for me, someone who's been doing this for 2 decades, really my whole life at some level, it's topics that are just easy for me, things that I know already to do and have become a routine. And so I just want to speak to the people that maybe this is the beginning part of your fitness journey or your healthy lifestyle journey. And we want to really take some time to carve out what it looks like to step into this and to also realize that it is for everybody. It's not just the people that look good. It's not just the people that can do 100 pull-ups or 50 push-ups or whatever it is. It is for everybody. So I'm excited to be here with you. We're going to just really figure out some basic steps to start. So thank you for joining me on a journey to renew your mind, refine your body, and refresh your spirit. Let's dive in. First things first is we have to gather an understanding of what health looks like, what a healthy lifestyle is, because it is not just about going to the gym or eating healthy foods or subscribing to somebody's fitness YouTube channel or whatever that looks like. It is so much more than that. It is about your body's ability to heal and function the way that you were designed to. And there's so much of our world that is relying on bagfuls of medication and waiting until we're sick to do anything about it, waiting until we've gained 50, 60, 70, 100 pounds to make some sort of a difference or decide that this is just the way that it's going to be. So we're going to talk about a balanced nutritional lifestyle, exercise, mental fitness, spiritual health and warfare and what that looks like and what we can kind of change and shift for you to get through this. We really want to start making sustainable changes, things that can last for a long period of time, not just something that's going to get you through a 30-day challenge or a 90-day challenge or whatever type of challenge that there is out there, maybe even for a year. You know, there's this whole thing about I was talking to somebody the other day, they said that they quit smoking. They've been smoking for 50 years. And I was like, congratulations, that's amazing. And she responded, well, I've done this before and it's just what I do. I just quit and I cut cold turkey and then it doesn't even taste good anymore and I don't want to do it. And that's all fine and dandy, but what are you doing now to create the lifestyle to not be doing that anymore? And so I think about that with someone who has maybe lost a lot of weight at some point, and maybe it's because you've taken some sort of a pill or medication to help you lose weight, but you didn't develop the guidelines to help you keep that off, a sustainable way to live out this healthy lifestyle. And so really we're going to talk about that. Like, what does it look like to really implement these things into your life and keep it going in the right direction? Number one thing is we have to start with small, manageable changes. You know, I know that when you start with a healthy lifestyle, when you start making a change, first of all, the people around you aren't going to fully understand why you're doing it, why you're making changes. And it also might be difficult for you to make these changes, to do something different. And we know this. Change hurts. Change is hard. Change doesn't make sense in our brains sometimes. Our bodies and our minds want to stay comfortable and not get their feathers ruffled. And so change is difficult, but there's easy ways to do this on a gradual basis. We don't have to jump all in, although I know some of you will. You'll just start training for a marathon or training for an Ironman or something crazy and just have a total life transformation. And that does work for some people. But even if you do decide to do that, we want to help build sustainable steps in order for you to stay there once you even achieve those goals. And so number one, we want to set realistic goals. You want to really start small, something that you can do over time, something that's achievable, something that will help you feel excited on the inside when you do reach that. And so what do I mean by something that's small and also being specific? So instead of saying, I am going to work out every single day, is that realistic? In your mind, you might want to work out every single day. But if you're going from 0% working out to trying to be a hero while you're working out, it's most likely not going to be sustainable. And so we want to be specific with it, otherwise it won't happen. So instead of saying you're going to work out every single day, say I'm going to work out these 4 days at this time, and this is what I'm going to do. I love having to have a plan because I believe that if you don't have a plan, it's not going to work out. You're going to fail and things are going to get in your way. Another big thing is drinking water. You want to drink at least half of your body weight in ounces of water. So for instance, if you weigh 200 pounds, you want to be drinking about 100 ounces of water each and every day. You might be thinking, well, how do I do that? There's no way I can get this much in, especially if you're on the heavier side. Well, good news is this is going to help you actually lose weight. It's going to help with your skin. It's going to help with your digestion. However, once you start losing weight, you actually don't have to drink as much water. So that's an incentive to kind of think about as you're going through this process. But one other key component that I would give you advice for is to when you wake up right in the morning, even if you're a coffee person, while your coffee is getting ready and the water's heating up and doing what it does, grab a glass of water and just chug it. You're going to notice that over time, you're going to start experiencing more energy in the morning. Your bowels are going to start moving quicker in the morning, and things are going to start working better for you. You'll get used to that over time. As you begin the process of drinking more water, you may be noticing that you're in the bathroom a lot more, but that's just a normal thing that's going to happen for you. It's going to regulate and sort of level out. So just keep on keeping on with that. Another key component to this is I want you to incorporate moving. Just start moving. I don't care if it is that you walk around your kitchen island while the food is cooking or the coffee's getting ready, or maybe you just start doing squats while you're standing there waiting for things to happen, or you do push-ups along the side of the counter, and whatever that looks like. It may be that you're not ready for an exercise regimen fully, but you can start incorporating movement more along the way. One thing that I love is walking. Walking at sunrise or sunset has actually been showed in studies that the color of the sky helps to reduce stress in your body. So when you wake up in the morning and the sun's coming up, or after you eat dinner and the sun starts to go down, the colors in the sky are actually going to help a rhythm inside of your body to calm your nervous system down. But when it comes to movement in general, start doing things that you like. Maybe it's you love to go dancing. Maybe you love to go hiking. Maybe you love to take your dogs for a walk or a run. Get on the bike, find a bike path, get to be a part of a group. Whatever that looks like, you will be able to figure out what you love. Not everybody's workout regimen is going to look the same. I don't think that there's one right way for every single person. I do love endurance training, and I also love high-intensity interval training. I try my best to combine those two things. So while I'm training for my endurance events, I do a lot of high-intensity interval training locked inside of there. I'll talk about that more as we kind of move through these episodes here. Now, your diet is so key. If you are someone who is just relying on fast foods and foods that are packaged in the grocery store or eating out often, we've got to start switching these things up. I want you to really become so in love with what you're eating. You you start to think of it as things that fuel you and not just make you feel better or fill you up. The problem is that we are eating so much food in our country, and we are more malnourished than ever before, including our kids. Our obesity and overweight is on the rise, but we're actually not eating enough good food. So we're starving ourselves along the way of gaining weight, and it's just this like weird conundrum that we're in as a society, that we have such an overabundance of food that's available for us, and yet we're more malnourished than ever before. And so what that means is that you're not feeding your body food that is satiating. That's one of my favorite words when it comes to nutrition, satiation. It's just a fun word to say. And so really what that's talking about is that your cells are getting satisfied by the food that you're eating. So when you eat food, you want to eat whole food. So fruits and vegetables as much as possible. You want to have those be organic as much as you financially can do. I love recommending local farmers and farmers markets and things like that. Costco is a great resource. Sam's Club, I'm sure, is also. Aldi's has really, really, really stepped up their game when it comes to organic fruits and vegetables and the types of meats that are in there. So when it comes to the meat that you're eating, you want to eat full grass-fed, grass-finished beef. You want to be eating wild-caught fish, and then pasture-raised chickens and eggs. There's all kinds of different marketing that goes on, and I will do a full nutrition episode for this, but just start with those facts right now when it comes to your meals. I like a simple saying: if you've been eating fast food, if you've been eating out, if you've been eating packaged processed foods, junk foods, things like that, just move towards eating real food. Just eat real food. So we just want to encourage you to do that. Another key component to this whole healthy lifestyle is sleeping well. I am very well known within my friend group and my family for having a bedtime. And it is a running joke for my friends and family. If I'm out, the bewitching hour comes, and it's right around 8 or 8:30, and I get a little bit squirmy because I know that everybody else is going to stick around hanging out and for an hour, 2, 3, 4 hours longer. And I'm like, peace out, guys. This is my bedtime. There are times where I will squeeze it out and make it be a little bit longer on the weekends when I know I don't have much going on. But I just know the importance of sleep, and it's just one of my non-negotiables. I'm not willing to not get a good night's sleep. And so one thing that I would recommend for you is to make sure that you look at this, because your bedtime is just as important as your awake time. And so you want to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. There's different tools that we use, that I use to manage or measure my sleep abilities, what I'm doing for my sleeping. And one of those things is the Oura Ring. I also have a Garmin watch, and I use those two things to compare their metrics to see how well I'm sleeping. But that is like far down the road. I do have a link for you for the Oura Ring to get one of those. I'm a huge, huge fan of that. So if you have questions about the Oura Ring, I'll put the link to get one of those in the show notes. I just think it's very important for you to start tracking your sleep. This ring specifically for me, it was one of those things where I knew I was getting a good night's sleep, and I just wanted to see where I was sleeping better through the night and what I needed to change. For you, it might be, it's just another piece of accountability that's going to get you to actually create a bedtime, create an awake time, and get to sleep in those hours that you're supposed to be. I just want to encourage you that if you are the person that's going to start creating a bedtime, your friends might have a hard time in the beginning, especially if you were like the life of the party for a long time, but they will get used to it. It may still be a joke. I know every time I leave a party or even if I decide to stay a little bit longer, people will look at me and like, isn't it past your bedtime? So it just turns into a funny thing, and I'm okay with it. I like to have fun with that. So once you've made some of these small adjustments, it's time to really be consistent with this process, because we know that consistency is the key to sustaining a healthy lifestyle. And so here's some of the things that I love to do. I have a morning routine, and I know the difference of when I'm like really on with my morning routine and when I'm not on with my morning routine. And so what does that look like for me? I wake up at a certain time. For me right now it's 4:55, my alarm goes off. I get up out of bed, I go and make my coffee, get that prepared, and do some things around the house in the morning time. And then I go and sit down and I start reading and journaling and doing my prayer time. And that's really what I call a spiritual triathlon. And so I take time to go through those three specific things to get my thoughts out on paper, to get God's word into my heart, and then to have a conversation with him and kind of seal the deal and lock it up. And so it might look different for you, and this is a personal thing, and you can start doing 5 minutes a time of each of those things. Set a timer, do it for 5 minutes, and move on to the next thing. If you're one of those people that's like journaling just kind of scares you and freaks you out, just start by writing a one sentence thing on a piece of paper. I love the app 5 Minute Journal. I think that they've done a really good job to be able to incorporate this into your morning routine and into your nighttime routine. So it's called 5 Minute Journal. You can get a hard copy book of that, or they actually have an app for it as well. You want to do some stretching, you can do some meditating, you can have a really good healthy breakfast. I think breakfast is one of the most important meals that you have. Unless you're doing intermittent fasting, which you probably won't have breakfast and you'll just shift over to lunch. And that's okay, but if you are going to be eating breakfast, you want to make sure that it is a healthy, nutritious meal. Now, the other thing that we talk about is our scheduled workouts. Your appointment with yourself is the most important appointment that you will have throughout your day. And so you have to schedule it. You've got to put it into your calendar and you've got to stick to it. I struggle with this as well. My hardest thing to do is to be consistent with working out. It's the one thing that I let slip fastest. It's when I'm stressed out or when I have a hard season. Exercise is the one thing that seems to kind of go down the wayside with that. And so when it comes to everything, we want to make sure that we're keeping our appointments and keeping the promises that you make to yourself. That's another thing that you want to make sure that you're doing, is keeping your promises. Because when you set an appointment with a lawyer or a doctor or a friend, there's a very small chance that you're going to cancel some of those appointments, most of those appointments. You kind of move around the rest of your day to make those things happen. And yet we're totally okay with when we have an appointment for ourselves that we switch that around, we cancel it, we just use a willy-nilly attitude towards it. And that's just not gonna be something that's effective for you long term. When we talk about meals and eating properly, I think meal planning is one of the biggest things that you can do. If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And that's just a saying that you've heard before. If you don't have snacks available, if you don't have your meals prepared, if you don't have all these things, then you're either going to stop at the grocery store and get something naughty, or you're going to go through a fast food restaurant or go out to dinner with friends and make poor choices. And so we just really want to make sure that you are really gravitating towards this whole process. So meal planning, pick a day or two of the week that you are going to sit down and, first of all, you want to create your menu, create your grocery list, which I will have meal planning menus and grocery lists and all of that stuff coming out real soon, and the ability for me to kind of work that stuff out for you. But then you also want to just pick a day or two that you're going to make the food, put it in the fridge, put it in containers. You can freeze some of it and go from there. There are some mindfulness practices that we want to just start planning ahead of time. And so what does that look like? There's so many different things that we can talk about when it comes to mindfulness. Like, what does that even mean? There's two apps that I love to use. It's a HeartMath, HeartMath. I use that. It's something they're connecting your heart and your brain and getting those to work better together. I think it's a great tool. I think it helps you calm your nervous system down. And then the other app that I use is called Nucalm, Nucalm. That is one of those, I put headphones on, I have an eye mask on, and I sit there for about 20 minutes. You can do 30 minutes, 40, 50, an hour, and beyond. You can have it going at night as well. But it's going to help with the wavelengths of your brain and help you get into a calmed down state. So Nucalm is also an app that you can use. Get some good headphones and put those on. And those are my two favorite, besides my morning routine with journaling and things like that. Those are my two favorite things that I do for my mindfulness practices. So what are some common challenges, or what I like to say is excuses? When you start living a healthy lifestyle, eventually, or soon after you decide to do this, it's like no matter what, all of your friends are going to have parties, and they're going to want to go on vacations and eat bad food and not work out and go out together, and it just happens all the time. And so you have to be so solidly grounded in this whole process in order to make a big change. One of the biggest excuses I hear is that you just don't have time to do this, and how am I supposed to make time? And I'm already busy, and this just is not sustainable for me. And it's just you have time for the things that you value. You have time for the things that you value. And if you're not doing them, and I'm speaking to myself here, if I'm not doing these things, it's because I'm not valuing them in those moments. There's other things that are taking up more value. But the reality is if you don't work out, your stress is going to go up. If you don't eat well, stress goes up. If you don't do this, stress goes up. And so working out, eating better, taking some time to do that is going to help you have a better and more productive time in the long run. So you kind of have to outweigh these mental battles you have with yourself, saying that it's just not going to be something that you can fit into your already busy schedule. Motivation. How do you keep doing this? For me, I train for Ironman, which is a long, all day long thing. And not only just on the day of, it is hours upon hours upon hours each week committed to going out and doing those things. It's really like a part-time job that I'm doing these workouts. I'm already super busy. I'm already exhausted. I'm already have a somewhat lack of motivation sometimes. But why do I do these things? Is because I put a goal on the end of the calendar, and I say I have a race to get ready for. And I know that if I have a race to get ready for, then I know that I will be doing these things. And so for my own person, some people just love to work out, and that's okay. For me, I have to have something on a calendar that I am competing for and making sure that I go after. So another thing that I do is it's always really a good idea to find an accountability partner, somebody that you can work out with, someone that you can meet up at the gym with, someone that you can go for a run with, whatever that looks like. Maybe do an early morning workout with a group, or an afternoon workout with somebody. Whatever your timing works out with, there's always somebody that is willing to go with you. You just have to find those people. When it comes to food, we talk about cravings. Now, I just think that's so funny because cravings, you've got to just get through it. And this goes back to meal planning. If you have things that you are planning to keep in your fridge, snacks that you have prepared, then you will see that your cravings are going to start going down as you start eating this better lifestyle. So just stick with it. I promise you'll get through it. A lot of times when you do have some sort of a craving, it's most likely that it is you're thirsty. And so if you drink another big glass of water, a lot of times those hunger pangs and those cravings are going to just go away. So try that at your next time. We talked about this already, but setbacks. If you fall off the wagon, if you go on vacation, if you stop doing the plan and the process that you already put into place, don't just call it quits. Don't just stop forever. Get back on the wagon. Eventually, at some point, you're going to fail. Failure is okay. It's just a matter of what you do with that failure. So I don't call it failure if you can step back on to the process. Now, when it comes to incorporating faith and fitness into this healthy lifestyle, like what does that look like? Again, in the morning, I'm really, really going into the spiritual triathlon that we do in the morning times with the journaling and the Bible reading and prayer time. That's just a time where I start to incorporate that. That's my spiritual fitness that I'm looking for. And so that's with prayer and with meditation. That 5-minute journal app that I talked about is in the morning you do something, and then in the afternoon you do something. And part of that process is developing things that you're grateful for. You'll see on my website that I actually created a 30-day gratitude journal that you can print out every month and fill it out every single morning, and just keep tabs of that. There's a PDF on my website that you can purchase. I'll have it in the show notes for you, for the link for you to purchase that, and you can move from there. Set faith-based goals that reflect your values and your beliefs. So not just what the world is telling you to do, or just because you want to fit into a swimming suit or look good, but really like why are you stepping into this healthy role? Is it to be a better version of yourself so that you can be a role model to somebody else? And what does that look like moving forward? Is there a kid that's watching you make these changes and that's going to impact their life for the long run? Is it you remembering that your body is a temple and that it is time for you to treat it that way? And so those things are so much higher and so much bigger than just losing weight to get into a bathing suit or to feel better or whatever that is. And then if you can find a group of people that are really strong in their faith and that can create a fitness and a faith environment for you, that would probably be the best. Maybe there's people at your church, or maybe you can find a group online. Faith RX is a really good, it's a CrossFit type of a movement. They meet like once a month in different locations. You can look that up, Faith RX, and they do different CrossFit workouts and Bible studies together. And I think that they have a really good program and when it comes to that. Now, I have a few questions that came in over the last week from some Battle Ready viewers and listeners that I really want to just take some time to answer for you. One of the questions was, what's a good way to stay consistent with my new habits? It's going to be hard in the beginning because it's going to be new. It's going to feel like you're kind of like just hitting these roadblocks as you go through things, but consistency from creating the routines and the habits is going to be the best way for you to stick with this. Again, start with small changes and gradually build onto them. I'm not telling you to go sign up for an Ironman. I'm telling you to go do 3 days a week of 15 to 20 minute high interval training, high intensity interval training. That's going to be more sustainable than me saying, hey, here's an Ironman plan. Go ahead and try to figure this out. So be consistent with that, and then make sure that your workouts are scheduled for a specific time and that your appointments are the most important appointments of your day, and then preparing for this the weeks ahead. Preparing every single meal, preparing every single workout, preparing what you're doing to wake up in the morning, what time you're going to bed, and really getting in this routine of this stuff is important for you. And eventually it'll just be like you're flexing muscles that you're used to using. The second question is, how do I find time to work out in a busy schedule? You fit exercise in when you can. Like I said before, you can do a 10-minute workout and get an amazing, amazing result. And it doesn't have to be that you're going to the gym for an hour or 2 hours. It can just be a 10, 15, 20-minute high-intensity interval training workout, and you will see massive, massive results with that. You'll see some battle-ready exercise plans coming out. I have 30 days at a time with body weight exercises and just things that you can do every single day at home, and just repeat these exercises as you go. Even when you're on a phone call, just instead of sitting and just talking to the person, get up and walk around, get some steps in and use those muscles. And so that is really like the start of what all of this looks like as far as your battle ready plan. And I'm so excited for you to start stepping into this healthy lifestyle journey and being a part of this battle ready nation. I know that there's a lot of information out there that you could be listening to and that you could be a part of, but you're choosing to listen to this Battle Ready podcast. I'm so thankful for you. I just want to ask one more time that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, that you like these videos, comment on there, that you send out your the other podcasts, whether it be Apple or Spotify. Those are the most common. You can leave a good review on there. 5-star review would be so taken with such excitement. And just continue to share these with your friends. I am starting to roll out what a coaching program would look like to go through this with Battle Ready. And I'm in the works of developing a Battle Ready Teens program, a Battle Ready coaching program with 3 different levels, and some other courses and modules to get put together for you to kind of work through these on your own. I would love for you to set up and do a consultation with me. You can see how to do that on the link in the show notes to get that consultation set up. You'll get to do a health inquiry questionnaire for me to see exactly where you're at, and then we can kind of work on what you want to work on and what you want to change, and to get you ready to take this whole thing on. Instagram is another great place for you to come and follow me and see some inside scoop. We'll be doing some different Instagram shorts and reels and all the things that you do with videos these days. But I'm just so thankful for you to be here and be a part of this. And this is your journey to renew your mind, refine your body, and to refresh your spirit. And you do that by creating consistency in the routines and the habits that you start doing. So remember, you are the most important appointment that you will make every single day. Stop breaking promises to yourself, and it's time for you to be battle ready. See you next week.